right, you guys, welcome back to another episode of A Tailor Made Life, where every conversation is one step closer to designing the life that God has for you. I'm your host, Taylor Renee, and as always, I'm so excited to have you back here with me. We're just going to get right into it. Last episode, we were talking about imposter syndrome and all of the goodies that come with that, right? Oh my gosh, so not fun. But this week, I figured that we could transition the conversation toward mentorship, right? One of my favorite things to talk about, just because it's something that I hold near and dear to my heart. I live for a good mentor. So yeah, let's get right into it. Like over the past, I'd say 5 or 6 years of me starting my career, I've had several mentors, right? I've had, dating back to high school, I've had multiple people that God has sent into my life to help guide and kind of mature me within my career. I can't lie and say that all of them have been the same or there's been the same experiences. Absolutely not, right? Every single mentor that I've had has been totally different from the previous one. And that's something that I can really learn to appreciate now. At the time, I was just very confused. But now, as I've gotten older, right, like I appreciate the mentor that I have right now just as much as the first mentor, right? I know a lot of my friends and just young people in general, right? We're always looking to be guided. We're always looking to be like mentored and kind of pursued in a way, So I just think it's very important to talk about those things and to kind of get some things back into perspective when it does come to mentorship. Now, there are going to be different types of mentors, right? Like some of them are, going to be lifelong relationships where they are there for you for the long run, right? You guys, have this long-standing relationship and it's just something that is really, really edifying in multiple areas of your life, right? You're going to have your mentors that are more high and by, more cordial, more, just subtle, right? You may not talk to them as much, but when you need them, they're there, right? No questions asked. If you need something from them, they always find a way to make it happen. Those hidden gems, right? You'll also have your mentors that are more career guided, right? You may not be able to talk to them about, your personal life or your relationship status or whatever all the other personal things in your life. They are strictly for your career. These mentors typically work at your job or as like a senior head at your, in your company, or maybe this is somebody who is, had a tenure at the company but now is retired or something like that, right? Like these are people who know the company or know the area that you're in very well. And so, all of these mentors, right, are going to serve different purposes, but they're all good, right? Like they all will bring some sort of revelation in your life. We tend to glamorize, and myself included, right? Like we tend to glamorize what a mentee-mentor relationship is and what it's supposed to look like. We have these high expectations and these high hopes for, normal humans that come into our life, that they're just supposed to be our Superman or our Superwoman, come save the day, when in reality, it's not that, right? Like in reality, they're helpmates, right? God has sent them here to help you, right? They've given you the directions to your destination, but you still have to take the journey, right? So like if you're in the wilderness and you're walking and you don't know where to go, right? God will send somebody, a mentor, a helpmate, to give you the directions, to give you some sort of guidance. But in the end, you have to be the one to take the journey, right? So it's important that we understand the realities of what a mentorship is and what that relationship really looks like and how it's going to look different from person to person. He sends them to teach us different lessons. And you have to realize that they are on assignment as well. So there's only so much that they're going to be able to offer you. Like we aren't meant to idolize the relationship and make this relationship our God, right? So, keep those things in mind when you are, and these are things that, of course, I've had to learn over time, right? But it's important that we take the mentorship for what it is, okay? And we move on. All right. Like I said, there have been a lot of lessons that I've had to learn the hard way, right? Some of the main things I think there are core foundations of a strong and healthy mentor-mentee relationship have come from of experience, right? Like right now, I'd say that I have a great mix in my mentor between like being personable, being career driven, being ambitious, sharing faith, beliefs, like all of those things we kind of have a similar understanding about. And so when she does give advice or she does give feedback and criticism or whatever the case is, it is like that much better, right? But I didn't have this at first. Like the last mentor, the previous mentor before this one was not like that, right? So again, it takes time to get what you feel like is the perfect person for your mentorship. So yeah, one of the main things that I've learned that I want to share with you guys about being a mentee is you have to accept your mentor for who they are. Okay? Myself, I have high expectations for people around me, my mentors, my parents, my friends. I just, my expectations are pretty high, right? And so I went into this relationship, again, with those same expectations, expecting her to have a set of characteristics or expecting her to be something that she wasn't meant to be in my life. Does that make sense? And when she didn't show up in that way, it confused me. I just couldn't believe that this person wasn't everything that I expected them to be, right? And I'm like, oh, she's gonna help me over here. She's gonna help me do this. And we're gonna learn how to code together. We're gonna do all of these things when in reality, that's not what God put her in my life for. And so I came in with my own plans, my own expectations, and it did not happen. And when it didn't, I was disappointed, right? And so to save yourself the disappointment, to save yourself the headache, please, 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 accept your mentor for who they are. Like, accept them. They're people. They're humans, right? They came here to help you with X, Y, and Z. Pay attention to the little details of their character. And so once you realize, like, okay, this person, I expected this person to show up this way, but now that I'm listening to them talk and I'm listening to them move, they don't even have the capacity for it. They don't even have the capacity to be this superwoman that I expected them to come in and do. So once you realize that, it's time to shift our focus. It's time to shift our objective, because our conversations now are more goal-based. Does that make sense? Once you realize that this person is genuinely just meant to help you, use it. Don't make it more than what it is. Don't try to mold this person into a part of your life that was never supposed to be. Does that make sense? Pay attention to the details of their character. And if you are noticing that they don't have the capacity to show up in the way that you expected them to, then so be it, right? Like, that is also okay. It's fine. Use the relationship for what it is. Take what you need from this person, and not to, be in a, like, taking advantage of them type of way, but God placed that person in your life for a reason. So use the relationship for what it's for, take heed to what they're saying, and move on, right? And for you ones who are like, oh yeah, well, what type of relationship, what type of mentorship is that? Babe, it is what it is. It's the type of relationship that it is, all right? Like, don't get caught up on your mentor not being the perfect person. Well, this person isn't, they're not my friend, and I can't laugh, I can't really get comfortable with them. Babe, then that means that they're not the one that you're meant to be comfortable with. Trust and believe. Another mentor is coming. I promise you, God has multiple helpmates that he's going to bring into your life. Don't get caught up on the first one or the second one or the third one, right? Like, it's going to take time for you to cultivate a relationship with the right one. But until then, you accept the person for who they are, use them for what they came for, and then you move on, okay? The next thing, and this is also, a little something that, is the most important, but it's hard to hear. But we have to, ladies and gentlemen, we have to position ourselves to receive the feedback that they're giving us. Right? Somebody's coming into your life to give you advice, to give you guidance. You have to receive it. Like you have to receive the advice that they're giving you. Take the feedback, apply it to your circumstance, and decide whether or not that makes sense for you. Right? But you have a mentor who's telling you things and you can't receive it because you can't get over your attitude problem or you're taking it personally. That's defeating the whole purpose. I had a mentor. I would tell her my problems. Like I would tell her, what was going on. I would tell her the situation at work. I would, kind of explain my reaction or what my thought process was, and I would just explain it all to her in detail, right? And she would literally repeat it back to me, repeat everything that I just said back. She would objectify it, repeat it back, question my reasoning, question my logic, question my decision. And then when she determined the outcome, she would simply, she would just say, yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me. And every time she would say it, I just get quiet. Like, what? What do you mean? What do you mean that doesn't make sense? She would just say, yeah, that. So this happened. You did this, and now you're expecting that person to feel this way. That doesn't make sense. That makes zero sense to me. And at first, I was taken aback because, wait a second. What do you mean that makes no sense to you? I make sense in all of my decisions. All of my decisions make sense, right? That's what I'm thinking. But no, I had to, once we got off the phone and I started to really think about the decision and I'm thinking about the situation, I realized, you know what? Maybe she was right. Maybe that was not the most logical decision that I made. Maybe that didn't make any sense, right? But I wouldn't have been able to come to that conclusion had I been so stuck on me being uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? Or me being stuck on the fact that she said it in a way that was controversial to me or in a way that convicted me. If I couldn't open myself up to hearing the feedback, then it would have went on deaf ears. And then what was the point? There was no point of saying it. The more mentors you have, they're going to be important. They're going to have busy schedules and things to do. They may not have as much time. Don't waste the time that you do have with them. When they say something, take heed to it. They're not saying it for no reason. All right? Take heed to it. Listen to it. Give it a shot. Right now, I am cautioning this because I am also expecting you guys, my ladies and my gentlemen on this channel, to also use discernment, right? I would hope that you don't have to question your mentor's intentions. Now, I'm not speaking from that perspective. If you ever have to question the intention or the heart of your mentor, then please exit that relationship immediately. We need to know that this person is coming from a place of love or just genuinely wanting to help you. If they are not coming from that place, if you have to question that, please leave the relationship immediately. That is not the one for you. That is a trick from the enemy. Okay? But yeah, I think, coming into these spaces, into these relationships, we want it, right? We glamorize it. We want the relationship, and then when somebody says something that we don't like, then we get an attitude. What's the point of that? What are we doing that for? You know what I'm saying? Even if it makes you uncomfortable, ladies specifically, when you catch an attitude, right? Don't let your attitude block your blessings. You can't catch an attitude because your mentor told you something that you probably needed to hear that you just didn't want to hear at the time. Or they didn't respond in a way that you thought they would. There's no reason for you to dismantle or question everything that they've ever said to you. Because again, that defeats the whole purpose. Now, the last thing that I learned that I really want you guys to take, if you don't hear anything else from this video, right, is your vulnerability with your mentor is your superpower. It is your superpower. It is the thing that quite literally has the power to propel your relationship forward or to set it back. Okay? The more vulnerable you are with your mentor, the more that they are invited in to help you. Okay? They are here to help. They are helpmates. Bring them real problems. Bring them the real situation. Bring them the context of what's going on. Bring them any detail that you think is relevant to the story, right? Or relevant to the situation. Bring it to them so that they can help you. They are there to help you problem solve, brainstorm in real time. They're there to help you kind of walk through this and navigate through these issues and these things in real time. So if you're giving them little bits and pieces of the story, then they're only going to be able to help you but so much. And then you're stuck with an incomplete piece of advice. No, you have to give it to them. You have to give it all to them, you know? So that means checking your pride at the door, right? Saying things that, you know, you may not be comfortable with saying to other people. Maybe, you know, you struggle with a little anxiety, right? And so you have to bring that to the table. You have to let them know, hey, like, you know, I get a little anxious when I have to do this task, or you know, this person makes me feel insecure. Like, these are the things that you want to bring to the table so that they can properly help you navigate what's going on. If not, then you guys are just creating a very surface level relationship, when in reality we need to go below the surface if you really want the help, right? And so again, like I said, leaving your pride and your ego at the door, checking that at the door, is going to be, you know, a key to your vulnerability. Those are the main like 3 things that I've picked up from this time. Of course, there are many other lessons and stories and things that I can get into, and you guys let me know if you want a part 2. But yeah, man, it's at the end of the day, right? Like, some of your mentorships will be for a lifetime. Some of them will be for a season. Some of them will be transactional. Some of them will be a high and buy. Some of them will be, you know, more personable. Either way, they are all there to help you. You need all of them. You need every relationship that God has planted into your life. I can't tell you how many times I've heard of relationships going sour because the mentee thought that this person was going to be their friend and their, you know, their sister for life and their road dog, when in reality that ain't what God placed them in that life for, you know? So you have to be cognizant of things like that, because our plans and our expectations is typically not what God has in store. Like, it's typically not what He had planned. Now, I can't say that I have a mentor that I talk to very often to this day, right? But that's because, you know, we built a bond and we built a relationship over time. However, that is not a requirement, and I don't expect that from every relationship that I get into. So ultimately, right, when it comes to your mentor, now how you meet them and where you meet them is going to be totally, that's the part that's tailored, right? That's where the tailor-made life comes in, because it's tailored to your situation and your circumstances. But what I can say is that when that mentor does come, right, I want you to take that person for who they are. Pay attention to the details of their character, understand who they are, and kind of get in where you fit in. Like, I know that sounds rough, it sounds harsh, but that person has their own agenda, they have their own life, and they are taking the time, they're sacrificing their time and their resources and all the things to help you. Take it for what it is. Don't try to make it more than what it is, right? Be honest. Be open. Put all your cards out on the table. And when it's time for it to leave, when the season ends, right, you take the meat and you leave the bones, okay? That is it for this episode. I thank you guys so much once again for listening, for joining me, for liking and commenting and sharing. I'm so glad. And I just hope that you guys are learning something and enjoying this series. So yeah, thank you. And until next time, bye.